It's getting pretty dark out here, so I don't know what the lighting is going to be like, but wanted to, share another story from Luke chapter 9, verses 57 through 62. A gentleman says to Jesus, I want to follow you. And Jesus says to him, foxes have holes, birds have nests, but I don't have anywhere to lay my head, right? So that's comfort. It doesn't say that the guy ended up following Jesus after hearing that, because his comfort and his conveniences would have been interrupted. Another said to Jesus, I will follow, but first let me bury my father. This guy had an issue with personal commitments and personal obligations. He needed to focus on that before he could follow Jesus. And this was actually a cultural colloquialism, which what he was really meaning was, I will, but not now. Maybe when, fill in the blank. This is not a right time for me. This is not a good time for me. There's some things that I got to do first before I can follow you. The last gentleman said, I will follow, but let me first go home and bid farewell to my family. His issue was his relationships. Some cannot pay the price to follow Jesus. The depth of your love for Jesus is reflected in the cost you are willing to pay. This isn't meaning Jesus is saying you can't have relationships and you can't have a house to sleep in. No, this is not saying that at all. What Jesus is saying is that to follow me, you got to love me more than you love your comfort, more than you love your conveniences, more than you love your relationships, more than you love your wealth. And the list goes on and on. I must be first priority in your life, unless I am not Lord of your life. We must be careful of our priorities. This is what trips us up. And let me just say, this is a major issue for many people. This portion of scripture in Luke is so important because these are typically the reasons and the things, I should say, that hinders many from following Jesus. Their comfort, their conveniences, their relationships, or their friendships, their personal pursuits, their personal commitments. When we surrender these things over to the Lordship of Jesus Christ, we realize that we gain so much more than what we thought we would lose. This passage is profound. I pray that you would read it and filter your life through the principles and what Jesus is trying to share